What is up, family? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. Really appreciate. I love you. I love you guys so much, man. I already see Devin in there. I see John. What's up, Northwest? US1 Joe. What's up, buddy? Darth Zoe. Ian, how's it going, Yabu? And my boy Chad. What is up, guys? Good to see you in the chat. I'm very excited to be streaming tonight. Like always, man. You know how it is, man. You know how it is. Let me go ahead and get some tunes started up in this thing, man, so we don't have it so uptight up in here. Oh, yeah. All right, so what's up, John? Good evening, ARCa from sunny Southern California. My brother, good evening to you. It's very good to see you. I hope, what do you have to tell me, my bro? Where are you staying today, man? Where are you chilling today? It's good to see you. All right, so yeah, my dude, of course, we'll go ahead and take a look at those two tickers, right? We'll look at a Very and that ticker DJT as well, as I do believe there to be. And Ian, what's up, buddy? Hey, dude, I thanks for replying to me right there, man. And right, I wanted to kind of leave you there last, so I can say that I hope that she's that everyone's fine. But I see you replied. I can't really read while I'm talking right now, right? But yeah, dude, those accidents could be a little bit of a mess sometimes, dude, and I do hope that you guys can figure it out. But yeah, man, love you, buddy. If you need anything at all, you know where to reach me, man, and we can always talk, my dude. Smokescreen, what is up, dude? Good to see you here. So, guys, yeah, thank you so much for coming on by. I really love to see it here, man. I really love to see it. You're very welcome, Ian. I got you, dude. And let's take a look at the YouTube chat over here. So, yeah, we got a request here coming in for VERI and, of course, that ticker DJT. Just like always, team, we need to observe the broader markets. We need to take a look at what the SPY is saying, right? I know I put a little bit of an ominous message, per se, on the on the title, right? In fact, I used that. What was it? The quarter starts red. I don't mean to panic people here, right? But it's all good. Let me go ahead and share that screen here with the with the Discord team, right, you guys? So let me just go ahead and show that here. There we go. So Discord, let me know. Oh, thanks, Chad. Let me know that you are seeing the screen now, that you are seeing my logo present, and I think everything will be cool. So yeah, what I meant is this, right? Let me just go ahead and share my screen on your side, right? So this is what I'm talking about here. I know I put this thing together right here. It's a little bit ominous, but it's just to kind of catch a little bit of attention into the stream, right? So yeah, but no, don't panic, you guys. I know that things are looking a little weird in the markets right now, but I will say that the markets may show a little bit more of downside, but overall, I feel like it's trying to create another higher low. Believe it or not, I don't see the market necessarily selling off just yet, as unless there is some crazy catalyst at hand, then sure, we may be able to see some negative pressure, right? But for now, I do believe the markets are still trending upward, right? You have this bearish engulfing here on the weekly print, right? We just finished that weekly candle on Friday. So what this means is that there is potential for a downside, closing below the prior bars. Actually, what is that close? You're looking at a close here of, let's see, 518.43, and the prior bar's low was 518.40. So yeah, we closed below the prior bar low with a wick to the downside. But please notice how large that wick is right here, right? So that shows you that price action eventually, this is 518.43 here, right? Price action at some point reached that low of about 512.90, and then it retraced, and the weekly candle ended up here at about 518.43. So this is some break of market structure, but to tell you the truth, a local market structure would be the only break here. If you're observing this on a macro scale, then you can actually start to see more, you're starting to see here the actual run, right? This thing is still on a massive uptrend. There is really no, there's really no reason for this to be bearish here. I see local bearish, right? We may be able to test the bottom side of around that 512.98 coming into the week. But with everything the way that it's standing, I believe the markets are going to continue to be propped up. The only reason I see us, the only reason I would see us breaking into new lows would actually be, it would be closing beneath. Yeah, it would be closing beneath this closure here of 518.43. Another weekly closure beneath 518.43. Then that would start to introduce some pressure to the downside, real pressure to the downside. It doesn't mean that in the interim we can't face a lower valuation here. I mean, I think that even if we came down to the zones of about 511 to around 508.26 in the coming week, it would still be considered bearish. What is up, my brother? Good to see you here, CoinFox. 30-minute pin in two, so this could go either way. Absolutely. That's what I was telling my team here, that take a look at this, dude. We're looking at a weekly bearish engulfing, right? But huge wick at the bottom side showing that the bulls still have interest, right? We're closing below the prior bar's low, and this could introduce some local bottoms, right? So I think that there would be no problem here if we ended up coming to test back at the areas of around 512.90, maybe 512 at the low of this weekly candle, right? That's 512.76 here. We could, and I'm telling the team too, that even if we come down back to the areas of about 508, we're still okay. In reality, the lower targets here, I think that if we start getting closures beneath that Nvidia gap of 503, then we can start seeing a deeper correction here into the 490s, potentially back down to 477. But until then, guys, I don't see this happening. I really do. And CoinFox is saying, let's see, nothing till CPI Wednesday, in my opinion. I completely agree, brother. Probably consolidation with a little bit of downside here, getting down to maybe half the ATR, maybe not even that, right? If we want to expand on the $4.50 ATR all the way, sure. We may be able to see down to 510, 508, but to tell you the honest truth, guys, this should be kind of a boring start to the week, to be very honest, okay? Yes, bearish engulfing, but huge upside on that candle, right? Showing that the bulls are still interested here. We're not going to see any bottom lines here unless we close beneath, like I said, right, beneath a weekly closure, beneath 512.70, maybe even beneath 511. Then we could get introduced into that 503 to 505 range of the Nvidia gap before continuing on to the upside. Whoa, that's a little annoying there. Okay, so a slight little peak above the moving average on this volume bar here. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the divergences, right? So let's take a look at this. Maybe let me pull up the RSI here and see how the closure on the week ended, right? And that should give us another couple hints here as to what we can potentially see, right? So yeah, I don't see any. Yeah, let me go local though. Let me go really local here. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, we do have some drives of regular bearish divergence here, and I will say that they're not the best in the world, right? Like, for example, this here, you're getting your lower high valuation there. Let me zoom into the price action here, right? I think I could get rid of some things here so that we don't have it so damn cluttered, right? Let's go ahead and get rid of these, and these, right? And in fact, I'm going to get rid of this stuff too. Okay. So, so we're looking at this pivot here being this candle. So let's go ahead and match that with the price action. Just like this here. And, So we have a little bit of regular bearish divergence here. A few drives I'm noticing momentum versus the 8-hour price action. And that usually indicates some weakness to the market, right? So if we pull on back on the SPY to the daily time frame, let's see. Yeah, if we pull on back here to the daily time frame, then you could actually see where your critical points are, right? Adding a little more grain into your price action will sometimes give you a little more clarity. So, and I don't mean this by like using a 1-minute candle for this type of read. We're just trying to see where the week can go, right? We're trying to observe those possibilities. So right here, this will tell you this is a clear line in the sand, right? 512.75, the low of this prior day, right? I'm sorry, this was the prior day here. So looking at Thursday's low If we start to close beneath that, then that could really bring down price action here. I think that we could see anywhere between 511 and 508.03 in the broader markets, and this would be your magical NVIDIA gap right down here, right? So as soon as price action starts closing down beneath these levels here, then yeah, we could see some negative pressure here. But I really don't think that's the case here. I really do think that we're literally setting up a new consolidation range. Price action here closed at 518.43 on the day on Friday, and we have a 518.51. As you can see, even the after hours were a little slow, right? So I could definitely see the upper bounds of the targets like so, right? So 519 is your top end here for your daily ATR. If we were going to use some physical targets, sure, I can see actually 520.48 adjusted here, right? 520.48 or 520.45 to about 520.97 as your top of the range, and maybe back down to the areas of about the lowest point of around 512 to about 514, right? So this could be our new little chop box here until we see some macroeconomic releases, right? Until then, I think we're okay, guys. I think this is going to be a good little break before the markets can absolutely start making a breakout for the upside or the downside, right? So I don't really see any evidence here of further sell-off. As actually, you know what? Let me just observe here. Yeah, no, 4-hour time frame, stochastic momentum here, and volatility showing critical expansion. We're actually reaching the top end of the 90 percentile on the 4-hour of linear volatility, and we have an upside pivot, right? This upside pivot is approaching that gravitational zone, get pulled to the upside here pretty soon. This is not looking too bearish in my opinion, right? Immediate short-term time frame downside, sure, right? We could use that 15-minute time frame, maybe even the 5-minute time frame to determine a little bit of weakness there. Let me see anywhere between the 5 and 10. And here we're seeing a little bit of that pressure right here, right? A little bit of a shooting star in that 5-minute candle here. The 5-minute ATR low could be, down to around 518.34. I would definitely use my line here. The focus zone of 518.23. Pull back on the 5-minute time frame, then bounce, right? You can already see the chop within a 5-minute too. There's going to be a little bit of consolidation here in the coming week, team, but it's okay. Let's just wait for the data to come out, and we would be able to move forward a little bit better. Okay, but you can. I can actually see the convergence already happening within even a 5-minute period. But everything is looking cool there, team. Okay, let's take a look at the VIX real quick because we did get a pretty nice bounce above the critical area here. So volatility on the S&P 500 would usually, your line in the sand here would be that 16 mark. Okay, so let's go ahead and leave that right about here, if I can reach it, right about there, right? So we're right at that point. Let me see. So we're going to go ahead and add a horizontal line. As long as price on the VIX maintains itself above the 16, then this is, that could apply negative pressure to the broader markets. But as long as we're consolidating there, then we're going to grind on sideways, right, for the moment. But it's okay. It's okay, team. We got to make a decision here. Even the 8-hour time frame on the VIX is completely at an indecision. It's a huge spinning top there, right? So I guess we're going to find out what the markets have to say in the beginning part of the coming week. Let's take a look at the dollar value here. This is the dollar index, and we're seeing this at 104.27 already in some upper levels, right? We experienced a top end of around 105, maybe up to 105 and a quarter. It was a bit high, right, for the DXY, but it finally started to kind of decrease here. It created a little bit of a higher high that usually represents some bearish divergence, in my opinion, right? So let's go ahead and validate that real quick and see if we do have that in line. And in fact, we do. Very, very, very slight, right? So I want you to notice this, right? This is going to be your regular drive of bearish divergence daily read here. This is going to be your lower high, and this is going to be your higher high on the price action, right? Notice the deviations, right? So that divergence means that there could be further downside, but not sure how fast that's going to happen because we have contraction here on the DXY. That means that we're getting less and less of a frequency regarding that the transactions, right? Regarding the short and long bias. So yeah, we still have several signs here actually suggesting that we could be facing some sideways trading. But it's okay, guys. That's typically how the markets try to react, right? 5 minute time frame here on the DXY, just showing some bearishness here, but don't be fooled on a 15-minute time frame. Sorry, 15-minute. Right, this thing could find a support anywhere near here, right down to 104.2620, or right down here at about 104.22.3. Okay, so as soon as we reach down to those levels here, very likely a bounce to happen here, as it's going to be trading some sideways too. I'm not going to ignore that the 5 minute time frame does have a little bit of this head and shoulders here. The 15-minute, damn it, sorry. But I will also say that your daily time frame, to oppose that, has a larger time frame inverse head and shoulder. So that could also present some pressure, some negative pressure in the broader markets. But it's not there yet. It's not even validated. In fact, it feels like it's trying to invalidate. And I would say that if price action on the DXY reaches down to here at about 103, and it kind of hovers there, then that would be a complete invalidation of this bullish formation from the DXY. Okay, team. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ES and see what's going on the S&P 500 futures contracts and see how that's moving. Right, let's see what's up. Okay, so let's pull up the daily time frame on this and see how the structure is looking here. Right, I know I have a bunch of little drawings here, right? That can little lines, right? If it fails my line, guys, if it fails that line, it's never gonna fail my line, guys. If it fails it, it's never gonna fail it. All right. So here's the daily time frame on the ES, creating a little bit of a bearish pattern here. But if we kind of pull back in the time frames, look at this from an 8-hour perspective, or maybe even a 6-hour perspective, then there is a bit of a broadening here, right? There is a little bit of broadening. It could also be identified as a falling channel, descending channel, or I mean several other things, right? What I am not going to ignore is that there is a clear ascension here on bear volume coming in on the 6-hour time frame. So we got to be careful with this, right? So that could be showing us that there could be continuation on this type of pattern here, right? But until proven guilty, then we'll go ahead and know the reality of the markets there. Okay, so 6-hour time frame, this is what I mean by that, right? 6-hour time frame here in the bullish control zone of stochastic momentum with a massive upside pivot here, and we're still expanding in the critical expansion. So that means that we very well could find some upside here, and there could be a continuation to the upside even in the local time. What is up, Mark Roach? Good to see you here. Joseph, good to see you, my brother. We'll go ahead and take a look at those blue chips as well, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and do about... I'm going to try to keep it a little limited with the requests today, team, as we definitely need to prepare for the week coming in. It's going to be the start of a new week and all that, right? But yeah, we got a couple tickers to observe here. We're going to take a look at Marks too, right? GC, what was it? GT, I forgot which one was CGTC. I forgot which one was it, coin? I forgot the name of that damn thing. Is it, Mark Roach, is it CCTG? Talk about CGC, that one, man. Talk about getting my freaking tongue all twisted on that one, guys. My goodness. Buzzman, I couldn't survive over here, man. Damn. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the local timeframes here, right? Immediate short-term hourly time frame on the ES is already showing us that we're having a little bit of a bearish crossover, right? So Darth, Zoe, you with me here? Let me know in the chat that you are with me. I got something to say to you, buddy. So let me know that you are there, and I got something to share with you, my man. So Mark Roach is actually saying CCTG as a different type of ticker, right? So please observe here. Zoe, your hourly time frame, you're getting a little bit of a crossover here on that signal line, right? Remember, your signal is the more jagged line, and your SMA 14 is the smooth line. This is your moving average, right? So the moving average will react based on the signal line of your RSI, right? So your RSI is kind of dictating where price action is presently, right? So this is a representation within the RSI of your price action, your signal line, right? So what you want to do sometimes here, okay, this is sometimes. It depends on what position you are within your resistance and or supports of the prior price action or historical price action. But if you're noticing that you're getting your hourly crossover beneath your moving average, then that's potentially telling you that your earlier time frames are also crossing. Hold on. Let's go ahead and take a look at your 30. So your 30-minute time frame did get the crossover here, and it's resisting from the moving average, right? So it's looking like it has a downside pivot. That means your 15-minute also potentially crossed, right? So here's your crossover, here's your test, and it's going down, right? Let's look at your 10-minute time frame. So 10-minute time frame also crossed. We came up and validated, and it's crossing below as well. Okay, 5-minute time frame here, it's looking like, yeah, we got that crossover right back here. We came up and tested resistance, and we're now validating the resistance of the moving average, so there is a continuation to the downside. You can do this cascading effect. I personally like to do it from the bottom up, right? Not necessarily from the larger time frame down. When we're talking about RSI crossover strategies, you want to use the immediate short-term time frames to cascade into the next one. So if you get your 1 minute crossing below if you get your 1 minute crossing below the moving average, that means that then your 3 minute is going to be the next one where we want to catch that downside on or the crossover, right, from the 3 minute, and then we would get the 5 minute across below, then the 15, and so on. So the stronger the crossover and the more time frames it cascades into, the stronger the move to the downside will be. All right, so this is something that some people use. It's called a crossover strategy, an RSI crossover strategy, right? So just know that you can't only rely on this though, okay? Because sometimes you'll sometimes you could be at a critical gap. So imagine there was a huge gap over here on the downside, but every signal and moving average is being crossed over on the RSI and showing huge bearishness. Well, that gap in the price action, because price action is king, it'll probably stop and halt that entire downside, and it'll shift to the upside immediately. So you got to use several metrics here to understand how valid your downside is. But yeah, use cascading time within RSI crossover strategies, okay? Any crossover strategy for that matter. But yeah, that way. And here's one more thing I will say. Try not to get your crossover strategies in the center. Not in the center here. So if you can get your crossover strategies upside, try to have them within the bearish control zone, maybe even a little bit higher, especially down in the oversold percentile, from the shorter time frame all the way up to your larger time frames. Okay, team. So that is just a little tip here for you to use in your daily trading. Okay, so it looks like Viv Packers is saying the exact move he's talking about. Got to look for reasons that won't happen to make sure that it's over the 60%, right? Before I shorted. Yeah. So that's exactly what I mean, right? Don't do it in the center. Make sure that you can see the crossover strategies relevant to around the top side for short, and relevant to around the bottom side, crossing over for long. Okay. So yeah, just keep an eye on it, right? So 5 minute time frame, dude. I would argue here, man. Is that a wedge though? You're talking about this one here, right? Coin. Is that a wedge, or is that the beginnings of a descending triangle, right? So if it is a descending triangle in this case, this is a continuation formation for actually, yeah, man, I guess we can consider it maybe. Gotcha. Hold on. Let me put you on so people can hear you too. You're telling me to zoom out, right, my brother?
That's all good.
There we go. Okay, let's zoom way out, and
like
you're
this thing's gonna
observing
wedge out
this.
till the bell.
This thing here? Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna wedge out till the opening bell.
Oh, yeah. and what's crazy here is that it's still kind of like a ways away until, yeah, like you're saying, until the bell. That was what I was about to say to you. Is that it's still converging. We still could have some more price action within this. So maybe a 15-minute formation here, something like this, or maybe even a 30-minute, right? We could, I don't know if that's going to be your actual top of the line there, right? But we could, let's speculate here, right? Because there are a few signals here that don't look like they would be the best, right? So for example, this here as a pennant, maybe this could be one. Right, and if we start using this trend line, then that kind of makes this. We could be at the preliminary parts of the formation if we use the top trend, right? So meaning that we have that we just started this and we haven't even really. Oh, I guess yeah, we have Technically we have, yeah, I would like a more confluent touch like this, right, on here to validate this formation here. In fact, let's see if I adjusted it to this maybe. Actually, this could be it here, man. I think this may be it. If we use that top trend line and use this touch here, this contact point here alongside this contact and this one, so then that could be a more confluent triangle here, right? So if it is a bull pennant, immediate short-term time frame downside to around that 52.52 of the ES before we bounce to the upside here, and this could as soon as we break this resistance of 52.60.50, this thing could possibly get up to 52.65.50 and then start exploring the potentials of a breakout. When is CPI coming out? Is that this week? Let me see here. Let's take a look at it. Economic.
Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Yeah, you know what? That matches very well to the...
And then we got PCE, I think CPI, and then PPI on Thursday.
Oh,
and
right.
then jobs. We got a lot of data at the end of the week.
We got a whole bunch of things, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? This pennant is more for an immediate short-term play. So there could be... Let me see.
Yeah, we can go back to 5,300.
Yeah, and actually, maybe tonight, maybe before.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. We have no data tomorrow. Nothing.
Yeah, we're in the clear here, so this could, guys. Oh, man, if that is the case,
I'll tell you what. If tomorrow's low volume, I think we go up.
That's what I was thinking too, man. And here's
I hate to
another.
say it, but
Dude, I know, and we have all the traits for this pennant, man. We have decreasing volume here. We have the converging price. That's all. Those are all traits of it. So if this pennant does break out, guys, remember, right? Let's just say that price action would end up breaking out at this point here, which would be in about a half hour's time from now. That could give you target number one. Let's look at the center of the triangle. This could be it. And of course, your highest bound would be the back of the triangle, right? So let's get these targets in line here, and this will give you the higher probabilities. So there could be an overnight move here or soon for potential upside. Honestly, that makes me feel like there could be a corrective move by the AM. This thing goes frothy to the upside and rebalances itself back to around where we presently are now, around this zone here. And then that would be, if euro hours start to short this, there may be a slight gap down in the SPY, which would then pressure price action slightly to the upside at market open. Damn. My goodness, that's a whole ass play, bro. So here's another thing, right? So we're looking at top size of about 52.86 at the center of the triangle, and coming up to CoinFox target, right? That's going to be your 52.98.5, and the breakout target here in about 30 minutes may actually, I'm saying that we're going to be testing the resistance, but if we do start breaking out of this formation, then your target is going to be, 52.78.5, just about. So right now futures is showing a potential upside coming in, and futures are looking good so far for tomorrow. Also, the fact that we actually recovered more, what is it, 65%, 70% of this capitulation, that's already kind of showing that there could be a recovery here. But notice that this here dropped like freaking crazy, and we recovered about 110% of that and still fell. Okay, so don't mark my words here. Don't use this as a reason for this thing to continue on to the upside. In fact, use this just to tell you that there are local highs and then a potential resistance grab up here at around the targets that we were observing on Friday, right? We were talking about a potential 53.09 to 53.20 with a focus of that 53.15 at the 1.618 or 2.618, I think it was, Fibonacci ratio. And we came just shy of that, right? Very shy of that. Price action capitulated afterward. And now we're observing this continuation formation, right? So if we're making an uptrend here, right, you get that uptrend, and then you start converging price, that usually means consolidation for an upside. Okay, so please be aware over how the markets behave during these time frames. During these times, right? So let's see. Darzo saying, so is this confluence with both indicators? Sorry, Zoe, can you? I'm not sure if I'm understanding. Let's see. Yeah, there's immediate short-term time frame downside, right, to test the bottom side of the regression before a bounce. Oh, gotcha. Thanks, Chad. Got you. All right, team. So that does it here. For ticker symbol SPY, we looked at the VIX and we looked at the DXY, right? All showing us some potentials for the coming days. We also saw the ES for futures contracts. Let's go ahead and move on to small caps and take a look at the IWM here, right? So we have some very interesting moves, guys. Very volatile market. I expect volatility to enter mid next week when we start getting the data reports. And please remember in the economic calendar, right, on TradingView, this can give you some info. Let's do the high importance here and up and coming, right? So here is your Wednesday read, right? This is going to be your core inflation. This is going to be your month over month, year over year core inflation. We have the inflation rate month over month and year over year as well. And we have FOMC minutes coming up all on Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday, expect there to be high volatility. If I have any of my green traders here, any of my master students, please consider remaining cash during that day, as the trade would be a lot easier on the following day, right? So even in the following day, we have PPI month over month. That's still going to be a little bit, you know what? The rest of the week may actually be, right? We have Michigan consumer sentiment coming up on Friday as well. So yeah, and guys, earnings season is going to be entering yet again, man. Another earnings season. Can you believe it? My goodness. So what's up, Cuddy Can? Good to see you here. Let's see. Joseph saying GTII lost 3K, sold at 79 cents. 79. Oh, that was way up there. And let's see. John is asking, ARCa, do you still see GTII going to 10 cents? You know what? Let's put it in the revolving cycles here, right? I said we were going to just take care of a couple of the requests here. So let's do VERI DJT. We'll give them a lightning look, right? So we can move on with the analysis here. I have some trade ideas for us, and yeah, we still have to. We're going to go ahead and also observe ticker Tesla and Meta. Okay, so let's just take care of a couple little requests here, and then we'll move onwards and forwards. All right, so yeah, why don't we go ahead and add in here into the revolving cycles GTII. Okay, hold on, team. I thought somebody was knocking on the studio door. Nobody knocking. Good to see you, my brother. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and add GTII into the revolving cycle here. We have DJT and Mark Roach. I'll take a look at that CCTG for you too, buddy. So we'll do these lightning cycles here and get them out of the way real quick, so that we can move on with the market analysis, right? So it's gonna be CCTG. Oh yeah, man. All good in the hood. All right, so man, dude, nice mover. My bro, I'm gonna go. Mark Roach. I am. You know what? There was an idea brainstorm here from CoinFox and I. He was talking to me about potentially creating some of the bigger movers in the small cap realm, and see if I can get some of the top 3 movers. Right. So I know you're very aware of those. So maybe you and I can kind of keep in touch there and see if we can observe the market, so we can put out a thread of analysis or a video on potentially daily, right? So let's just see which ones were the like this. I always notice that you have some of the biggest movers in your watch list, and I know you know your fundamentals and stuff, dude. So yeah, why don't we keep in cahoots and observe the markets together as well. I love you, buddy. So yeah, let's go ahead. And CoinFox is saying that you know what? CGC is definitely one that we have to take a look at, guys. Remember, the defense stocks are going to be ones that we should probably keep a close eye on, right? So CGC is going to be one of those other ones. Let's leave it in there. Oh, Mark, thank you, brother. I really, really appreciate you. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be ticker symbol VERI. This is the weekly close here. A little bit of bearish price action, right? We have the bears taking over just a bit here on the weekly, right? And please notice here that we're falling beneath the prior week's top. So that naturally converts one specific area into a resistance zone, right? That's going to be your top side right over here of about 699. It doesn't mean that we're completely bearish from here. It just means that we were already observing the downside coming in from, I think, last week. Okay, so there could be a little bit of downside. Remember that I was still kind of observing the lower portions. Oh, you know what? We actually did get it, right? Let me see. Oh, man, we did. And it continued upward. All right. Yeah, so there is a little bit of pressure here to face this support range again. And then Mark Rose saying, I can send you microcap watch list in the Discord to text you. Brother, thank you so much. Yeah, that'd be cool. Joe H, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here, man. Thank you for stopping by. Pennington, good to see you, my brother. Cyber Sultan, good to see you guys. I know that I didn't get, hey, Wiggle Wiggle, good to see you here too. Triple, you are quadruple X now. You got, you got upgraded to 4 more Z's. And what's up, my buddy Fern? What's up, dude? Good to see you here, brother. Good to see you, man. Galvin, I didn't see you earlier either, my bro. Good to see you here too. So, okay, guys, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling and continue, right? So, ticker symbol VERI. I'm observing here a potential drawdown to that area yet again. 611 to 563. How can we prove that? Well, let's take a look at a couple things. 5-minute time frame falling beneath your EMA 200. As soon as we start falling the SMA or falling below the SMA 50, then we're going to start experiencing some continuation to the downside here, right? So your prior day's low would be right around this area here, 622. So you're very close to the pre-market low as well. So we're going to mark off this zone here as a requirement in order for us to experience a further downside. 622 to 616, break of this, enter this area here of, let me repeat it again, right? This is 563 to 611, and we're already getting some of those traits, right? Curling down on the SMA 200 of the 5-minute time frame. And then also, like I was telling you, falling beneath that EMA 200 on the 5-minute here, that could show some negative pressure, right? So, and not only that, is that this is a broadening wedge, ascending, and in a 5-minute time frame, sure, it's got a 50-50 batting average, but it could still experience a drop here, right? The target to face for this formation would be around 626. It is confluent to the target we were observing at 622. So there is a chance here of getting back down to those targets. But I will say that if it does reach that low of, the 560s to 611, that would put you in a pretty bullish area, right? That's gonna put you in this zone here, and also it would probably mark off a local higher low, right? So just like this, right? We'll get that bounce just like this for continuation to the upside here. The next target here, based on this, it looks like a 4-minute time frame. Ascending channel, right? Something like this is what we're potentially observing here, right? So this is your clear signal here that we could face the bottom side of this range here, bounce from this area, and then create your ABCD structure. So this is looking like something like this, right? This is going to be your X position here. This is going to be your A position. B takes it to C, right down in here somewhere, wherever that could be, and C takes it to D. So you have a very clear ABCD structure. What's going to invalidate this is if price action rejects this top side of 696, which is not only the resistance of the pre-market high of the prior day, but it's also your biweekly resistance, right up here at $6.99, $7. Reject that here. That would be a clear invalidation of your ABCD, and this would likely capitulate from there. So heads up on that $7 target as price action recovers first from 563 to the upside. Okay, so here's your line in the sand for you. And I will encourage you to please be very careful when observing this resistance here after this downside, okay? Downside first, price action up first, then resistance at this level. Break above this, hourly closure above this will certainly take you all the way up to the targets that are confluent with the 1.618 at 866. Heads up on this, there's still further upside targets to look at. Not sure if we're going to be able to get them, but they are in line. My absolute top side target for this, brother, would be 988 to 1103 with validations. Get a daily closure above that 776, no ifs or buts, and then you'll get that top side. and everybody will be in frothland. Okay, so good deal right there with ticker symbol VERI. Let's go ahead and continue here with the DJT ticker. And this was something that we were observing just last week. We were noticing that there could be, some negative pressure here during the immediate short term before a potential continuation. Guys, I still think that there is some ground to be solidified here within the ticker symbol DJT. In fact, we observed here a chop area and one that is very much relevant to the price action. So let's go ahead and kind of put that into the price action here, right? This is your chop zone, and it appears as though price action has completely failed the top end of the chop box. So this, in other words, this was a quick little look above and failure, right? So remember that the top side target for breaking out of this and confirming out of this would be around here, confluent to the 3.618 at 98.88. Price action does not appear to be ready for that just yet. Let's take a look at the 12-hour. Yeah. 12-hour time frame. Displaying us here that it could come back up to a couple resistances. In my personal opinion, we'll come up to the 0.786 at 45.31 to the bottom of the price action here. I do think that we would get a quick little resistance there before a continuation to the downside, and this would be your potential dead cat, right? So we came to about 80% the target, 90% the target. We didn't quite get it, right? So if we are going to experience a little bit of further upside here, sure. I can see this extending to the opening of the prior day, or actually, you know what? Let me put the daily time frame in. Yeah, to potentially to the opening of the prior day at around 44.93 before facing rejection and a continuation to the downside. I do believe that the local downside here could be located right about here, right? So that's going to be at this gap, this daily gap, at around 38.05 to 36.97, slightly surpassing your dead cat target, which was set to be at 38.81. Okay, so heads up on these bottom side targets of 38.05 to 36.97. If we pull up the stats window here, it looks like you're already getting a 37-cent target, right? So that is very, very much in line. 37.06 is your daily ATR low. We're saying here in a discretionary fashion at 36.97 to 38.05. Sounds like it to me. It checks out. Looks like there is a high probability here of experiencing that continuation to the downside. The structure is completely broken, and there is very much, it doesn't take a rocket scientist here, right, to see that this is completely bearish, and there are still some lower targets to observe. Short-term bounces here before we reject, and likelihood of reaching that 32.39 is pretty great by mid this week. Okay, so heads up on that. That's going to be your ticker symbol DJT. Let's move on here to ticker symbol GTII. And right, it's experienced a pretty nice upside over the last couple days, but then there was some signs of consolidation, right? So price action reached that 18-cent bottom. It looks like there's a lot of interest within this daily time frame. I'm sorry, within this ticker below the 20-cent zone. So if that is truly the case, then if we continue to the downside, there could be additional pressure to observe here and more bulls to look forward to. So if that really is going to happen, team, there are a few things here that we have to observe. First of all, we need to close a daily closure beneath the area of 22.62. Present price action is 24.25. Closing below that 22.62 will add continued pressure, likely down to the areas of about 19, I would say, actually 20 cents to, of course, your 18-cent bottom. Okay, so let's mark that down here, and we'll keep that in line, right? So let's just say, yeah, I guess right around here, right? So that's going to be about your opening, closing basis of the candles to the shadow lows, and that could be introduced here if we do start getting that closure, like I said, below the area of 22. Let's see, 22.72. Get a daily closure beneath this. Price action definitely reaches down here. Now, here's the next thing. Get a closure beneath 18. 15.96 is your next target, right? 15.96. I've already observed this in other situations. In fact, it was a 15.80. Okay, so we're going to observe this here. Conditions are set to be just as so. Okay, but yeah, if you start beating here the 18-cent zone, then you're going to start reaching lower targets, and that's going to be your price discovery for the downside. Okay, things can slip around that area, the 10-cent zone here, otherwise known as your 10.01 to let's see, the 970. That could be one area to observe because there is a daily gap all the way back there, right? So historical gap here can serve as a potential support bottom. All right, so I would say risk off on this until until you see some more downside. And if we are to experience downside, let's see. Sorry about that, team. Hold on just a sec. Okay, so yeah, if we're to experience some more downside here, let's take a look at how that can happen. So we're getting a contraction phase on volatility, right? So that means that the bulls have kind of lost interest at this top side of around 26 cents or 25. And now if you observe your stochastic momentum indicator, there is a bit of a downside suggestion here too. So as we contract and as we face a downside, that just means that there is no interest to short or no interest to long. Naturally speaking, the algorithm will bring contraction to volatility and the price action will reach its local fair value. With this case, I do expect that to be down into the areas of about 18 cents. Okay, so if that's the case, you guys, then please be explicitly careful here as there could be some negative price action. Remember, a daily closure is all it's going to take for you to experience the target of 15.8 to 15.9, right? So that's going to be the bottom side of 17.98. Do not get that. As though you would have control, right? So let's see. I think the immediate short-term time frame has a little bit of an upside push here. If we do have an upside push, there may be a break. A resistance, a clear resistance of around that 25.5 before facing a continuation to the downside, right? So we're going to consolidate between the areas of about 22.72 to about 25 at that top side, 25.55, until we can decide whether the upside is going to be more prevalent or the downside here, right? But something tells me that the downside is going to be first, as we do have some of these moving averages on the momentum indicators facing to the downside. Okay, team, so heads up on GTII. We are potentially going to set up a new consolidation range or chop box, right, as they say. So that is it for GTII. Let's go ahead and now move on to ticker symbol CCTG here, and that's going to be CCSC Technology International Holdings Limited. Okay, very nice pump to the upside here, already up 27.5% on that daily read. So if we're observing this topside at market close 338, your 12-hour time frame after a post hours is showing you 306. Okay, so this shows that we're at a critical support, and if we fail this support, then there's going to be continued pressure to the downside. Failure of this zone here would introduce that potential, right? So it's going to be your $3 to $2.92. Failing this here would introduce, first of all, the target of about $2.81, followed by the $2.64 target. Okay, now one more thing. If you do get a failure of this $2.64, the range is actually $2.64 to about, I'd say, right about at that tweezer bottom here, right at $2.61. Failing this with a daily time frame here would certainly bring price down to that 250 range, and then you would actually bounce here, validate resistances, and continue on to that 237. There is no reason that I don't see any evidence that price action can do that for now. In fact, this could be validation of I guess it still could be considered a validation of local supports, right? Converted resistances converted into support before a continuation onto the upside. Okay, so we did get a nice little bounce here, still not heavy enough from that 297 bottom to 306, right? So a good little 9 or 10 tick jump before this day the post hours were closed. So let's take a look at the immediate short-term time frame and see how momentum is reacting. Okay, so momentum on the hourly time frame displaying a continuation to the downside on Stokes, and we're still expanding in the critical. So this is showing that there is a continuation to the downside. Let me go a little bit more granular here and see what this is looking like. 15-minute time frame, downside pivot on stochastics inside of the gravitational zone here, right? So that is likely to bring price action to a downside here. We are likely to experience first that 292 bottom to 3 cent bottom, right? Remember, those are the targets I gave you. Let me pull up the stats window here and take a look to see of how far this can go. Wow. So this is actually telling us that on a daily time frame, it is capable of dropping to around 215. Although I can see that within the statistics, I personally don't think that's going to be the case. coming in to Monday, as there are heavy resistances or supports to be observed within this target here, right? Very clear line in the sand here, but it is possible for things to reach down all the way to its bottom side, right? So I guess your true inflection would be this target here, 261 to 264. Break of this and a daily closure beneath this, you're certainly going to start to see your 236 followed by your $2 target, okay? So completely conditional here, but I am seeing immediate short-term time frame downside before we can get any upside in there, okay? Remember your bottom side targets. First of all, local lows, $2.92 to $3. Second, $2.81. Failure of that 281 would introduce you to 261 to 264. Okay, this definitely has the potential to be done over the span of just one day or one trading session. We do have a completely expanded ATR of 61 cents, so that can certainly show us some negative pressure here. Okay, so heads up on this ticker. We do have a pullback to observe. It may be an opportunity, it may be not, but we would have to kind of observe this into the coming days first. Okay, so that's going to do it here for ticker symbol CCTG. And let's look at now the ticker that CoinFox and I were just observing, right? So Mark Roach is saying no entry, but looking for a 265 to start a small position. Good idea, my bro. I do believe that that would be the best way to observe this. If you do see an opportunity here, especially fundamentally, then yeah, what's to stop us, right? From starting a small position and using this strategically in case you do draw down to that $2 zone, then we could go ahead and risk on a little bit harder. But if you do that, you just have to be aware that you're going to be under negative pressure here for quite a bit if you do see that, right? So I can't tell if that $2 bottom is in fact going to be it, but it is within the statistics and the daily range, okay? So if it is that possibility, then I want you to be very well aware of it and very well aware that it could extend that low. Okay, so guys, let me just go ahead and clear my voice here real quick. It's cracking out. Hold on just a moment. Oh yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for your patience here. So yeah, that is going to do it for ticker symbol CCTG. And let's go ahead and now move on to the Mark Roach. You're very welcome, my brother. No problem at all. I'm very happy to help. And Senor, let's see. Wiggle is saying, it could be an interest. Yes, absolutely. Tesla is definitely in the cycle here. We're going to be observing Tesla and Meta as Meta is now in its, it kind of took over the rotation here, right? So it's, it looks like, I was talking to One Good Trade and he was telling me that there is a clear rotation there within tech, right? So tech to tech. So that absolutely could be the next, I guess the other plays aside from the, from the growers, from the green growers. Mark Roach, there certainly was a cricket in here. That was my good friend, my buddy Joe H in the background. Good to see you, my bro. Very happy to have everyone in here in the chat. Please do me a favor, team. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure to do all those things that are necessary to make the channel thrive. Okay, guys. And I will say one more thing, right? Know that we have had a massive week with trades in the ARCa Bulls trading team. I can't tell you how lucky I am to have this team by my side. And if you want to be part of that team and experience the gains that we're actually getting, then hit that link in the chat of YouTube, right? And join today so that we can go ahead and trade together, right, team? So absolutely lucky to have such a great team by my side. Okay, you guys. So let's Meta 550 in place, says CoinFox. No way. All right, so let's take a look at CGC first and then observe Meta and Tesla, of course, right? Buzzman, hello to you. And Ian Tucker, thank you so much, my brother. Really appreciate you sharing that news with the YouTube stream. All right, So daily closure on CGC at $10.18, post-market $10.14. If we're observing the weekly close, then a pretty nice weekly candle, right? So this, when you're observing a candle, let's go ahead and kind of point out a couple things, right? So this candle here has an equal wick low and an equal wick high, right? So this would be your wick here, or your shadow, or your tail, right? So you have you have here the interest from both the bears and the bulls, but please notice that while it appears to be a little bit of an equal run, this is in fact favoring the bulls, okay? And why? Well, the closure is why, and also the present structure within this. Green candle, equal wicks, that looks to me like it could be pretty bullish. Now notice the closure. That is beyond and upside of the prior week's high, okay? So that naturally tells us that we have a nice support range right below us. And not only that, is that we also have a gap right here on the weekly time frame to observe as a relevant area of support. So why don't we go ahead and just put that down here so that we are aware of the local supports, okay? So CGC down here could reach the bottom side target of around 962. Let's pull up the stats window here and see how low we can go. So at 842 could be a lower bound for this. Now, where would that be located? If I were to put it down into raw price action, I would put it right at this trough here. This would be your pivot point, and it does have a range. So let's plot that down there too as well, right? So something like this here would be your bottom bound support, just around that. I mean, I guess I could take it down to here and use the, you know what, I will. I'm going to take it down to here and use the 50% as the pivot point right here, right? So that's going to be the center of the area here would be resistance, confluence with this wick, and the opening and closing bases of these candles back here on the December of 2023. Okay, so closing above that prior week's high does not mean that we're protected from a downside. In fact, I can almost bet that we'll come to the downside first. Coming down to 962, the importance lays on the closure. Okay, that doesn't mean that it's going to be continuation to the upside from here. It just means that it closed above and we are technically in bullish territory. That means that we can start looking for the opportunities to get long the ticker in case we are interested in playing the simulator here, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the moving averages within an immediate short term and take a look at our present situation here, right? So 5-minute time frame showing us that we are clearly above the EMA 200 and the SMA 200, right? And another very bullish thing here is that we're currently succeeding the upside of the SMA 50. Not only that, is that now we have below us the EMA 9, EMA 7, SMA 5, and your SMA 50, right? So again, that doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to come back down. In fact, there is a relevant reason, or there is a very prevalent reason, better said, for us to come back down. As you can see here, this green candle, sure, it made a complete recovery here, but it is a break of structure, right? So we were holding this support here of about 10.05 until this candle here printed 10.02. That to me is telling me that we may be able to come back down to validate supports at that EMA 200 before continuation to the upside. The EMA 200 is not the answer in a direct target. Your raw price action is the answer. So if you're observing your moving average sitting at this low here, expect the moving average to retrace to a relevant price action low. In this case, observe this candle here, right at the area of about 990. That could be a zone for us to observe. Okay, so let's go ahead and now move on out of the 5-minute time frame and take a look at the top side of the prior bar, right? So on the weekly time frame. So the top side here is 1013. It is a little confluent to the 990 that we're observing in a 5-minute time frame. So we got to keep an eye on those things. Okay, so now if we do get a pullback here, where would it bounce from? There is a way to tell, actually. So let's go ahead and move down to time frames and see where the downside pivot is relevant within the RSI. We want to catch the RSI downside with a local SMA 14 bottom side support. So let's see the bi-hourly here. Okay, there's one, but that's kind of a distance away. This is telling us that we may very well be able to see an 842 bottom, but let's see what we can do. Okay, daily time frame here falling beneath the SMA 14, coming up here to validate resistances, but that's going to be a little tough for us to experience a continuation to the downside in a larger manner Why? Because we're in the gravitation here of the bull strength percentile. We may very well meet the moving average alongside the signal line for a continuation to the upside until we reach this zone here. Okay, so if that really is the case, then I am being told here that the daily time frame may have us. I'm talking about daily time frame, so this could be within the week. Okay, that's telling me that we may be able to see a continuation to the upside during the week to 1096 to 1157, that range, before experiencing a pullback here. Not to mention that we're currently building a potential bull flag. Okay, so if that's the case here, immediate short-term downside to the levels that I was talking about. We have a daily range down here too. It's a fair value, right? Right here is your imbalance in price between 898 and 939. That's another reason for us to be held back from reaching lower targets. Okay, I'm saying that it's okay. It's not impossible. I'm just saying that we have reasons for it not to continue to lower targets. Okay, so if that's the case here, let's experience first the immediate short-term time frame drawdown before reaccumulating here and then potentially building this bull flag here. And if it is the fact that we have this target down here of 894 as the bottom side of the range, then let's go ahead and get our measured move here for that bull flag, and that'll take you to a top side target of, man, that's going to be a little ridiculous, 1503. Okay, so 1503, man, I guess that would be an effort here of about a week's price action. Yeah, because we have a $1.27 range. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and just kind of keep that in mind. You know what? You're right, Nick89. Let's go ahead and take a look at ticker symbol RTX is I think it's in play too. That was yeah, one good trade was the one that brought that to us, right? So let's observe now ticker symbol RTX. Okay. Nice. Very, very, very nice here with this ticker. The daily time frame on Friday here, right? Huge push to the upside from 99.44 to 101.75, and the post market here continued further into the 101.80 top side. And why is that so important? Well, your average true range on a daily time frame was met, right? So this is your daily ATR top of 188, right? $100 with 88 cents. And if we were to observe the upper bound of the first standard deviation, this was already telling you that we could reach up to a 101.24, of which we got a 101.80 of. Okay, so that's good. There is still a continuation to this. We still have an upper bound of the 12-hour two standard deviation multiplier top side, and that would be right here at 104.81. But remember that we are about to establish the opening of a new trading day, and if that is really the case, then what could be in hand here? So let's take a look to the left and see what kind of resistances we have coming up, because guys, this is about to get real. Okay, RTX, I'm telling you right now, RTX may start making breaks into new highs. All right, and if we're talking about new highs, I really mean new highs. Let's get that weekly time frame to see how that's looking, and you can observe here that that is quite the top of the range, right? RTX here on a huge upside, right? And it looks very, very similar to your S&P 500, but not quite all the way. Remember that this would be your I forgot what the ETF name was. That was the XL. I forgot the name of it again, but it's all good, team. It's all good. There was high correlation here to its defense ETF, and that is certainly showing that the defense stocks are, in fact, in play. And this is, given the situation in our world, right? This is absolutely going to show some positive price action here, right? So let's get back to the weekly time frame here, right? So this is our weekly close. Let's take a look at the RSI and momentum here. We definitely still have some more upside to go. We're currently sitting at about 74.2% on that RSI weekly. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so this was, let me see this pivot. And let me see this one here. Nice. Okay, yeah, so this was, we definitely, and now that the week closed, we definitely still have a drive of hidden bullish divergence printed, right? So that is going to be your higher low on the momentum, and this is going to be your lower high. I'm sorry, your lower low on the price, right? So this divergence here on the underside of price and on the underside of RSI is displaying to you hidden bullish divergence on a weekly time frame. This is telling us that this can still continue on to that upside. Okay, so this is pretty big. Nice. So again, I'm gonna just say that this has the probabilities here of continuing on further than the 106.02 target in due time. Notice that we have a $1.43 range. Okay, but if we use the weekly time frame ATR of $3.43, then that'll put us right under the 106.02. Right, so you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You're looking at 104 plus the 69 cents that we have on that 101. You're looking at about 105. So that puts us in relevant range of the 106.02 all-time high of RTX. That would be challenging. Okay, and that, that is probably not going to get it in that second try, but we may be able to get it on the third or fourth. Okay, so heads up on the market here. RTX showing absolute bullish control right now, right? So 4-hour time frame. Let's look at this. A little bit of consolidation within the shorter time frames. Let's see the hourly time frame. Yeah, same situation here. Hourly time frame showing some immediate short-term time frame downside. And if I were to use the stats window here, then we could be very close to the hourly range low, which would be 101.40. So that would be right back down to the post-market low. Okay, but I do think that there could be a deeper pullback in here. If we do get that deeper pullback, then that's going to be your low right below this zone here, which would be around the $98 area. Okay, so $98 would put you right back into this range here. Okay, so that could be that it is absolutely in play. Okay, so don't doubt it. Okay, but if we were gonna reject those targets, sure, we can reject. I'm gonna give you the rejection potentials. Okay, 101. All right. The next rejection potential here would be right around the 99.97 zone. Next rejection potential here could be right down at this target of 98.99. We're already getting close to your ATR range. And then that 98.99 has a little bit of a range to that top side of the actual 98.70 bottom that I'm observing. Okay, so heads up on RTX. Do not get long to sticker until you get a pullback first. We don't know if it's just going to moon right after this. We don't know if it's going to pull back, but let's just be reactive to how this is moving because it has a lot to do with sentiment. Okay, and while the charts are telling us something, that doesn't mean that sentiment can't immediately take over and just have this thing rocket ship to freaking $1 million, right? Not financial advice. Kick you in the butt. All right, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Those are our defense stocks, and they're looking pretty damn good. All right, so now what? Let's go ahead and take a look at Meta. Let's see what Meta has to say. And I'm sorry, it was Tesla first, then Meta, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla. Where do I have that thing? Here it is. All right, so let's see what Tesla has to say about itself, right? So let's take a look here. All right, and let me pull up the daily time frame. I know I have a bunch of little sides here. I'm going to get rid of them, right? Because I like to have a little bit more of a controlled chart here, right? Okay, so right, I remember now. So Tesla was the ticker that had this, I think it was a Reuters hit piece, and then Elon Musk completely invalidated the bearish, that bearish strike. Right, he said that is not true. So price action completely rejected from 160, and it went beyond the 170 target, closing the post hours at 171.19, trapping all kinds of bears. I almost feel, man, that was really something, guys. I don't like it when price action behaves like that, and honestly, I don't like it when there's false news represented like that. I mean, who are you? We're talking about Reuters here. Why are you spreading that? We're talking about Elon Musk here. The moment he says it's not true, you will be slammed to the ground. Like you don't play against that man. You know, you do not play against that man. that guy will absolutely smash you. You know, we're talking about a person that could just mention. You know how Elon Musk tends to give you hints, right? He'll say something that has to do with something that may be correlated to a certain ticker that he might be speaking of or may not be speaking of. And then whoever solves that riddle is already way ahead of the game. And then when everybody gets it, that freaking ticker rips to the moon. We're talking about a person that has that kind of power with words. You know, how that's what makes me feel like, dude, Reuters over here getting a short-term gain here. That was really manipulative, and I think it was a low blow. I really didn't like what happened. But what I can say is that whenever something like that happens, price action and sentiment will naturally put this thing back to default, right? It'll probably put it back to, options, literally, right? So it'll naturally put things back right into null, right? It'll put it back to where we were. So this is a reset. I kind of, it was another DS attack. I said it in the trade on the trading floor on Friday. I said, guys, that this is whenever this happens here, we're just gonna get set back right to the open. It's like a reset button, or in motocross, right? Or supercross, you get the red flag for something happens like that was out of everyone's control, like the gates or something prevent riders to continue going at the start, and if it kind of wiggles around weird and doesn't close all the way, then the race is gonna have to be restarted. So the Doge father. So that's I just wanted to say that, team. Okay, so that's kind of what happened here. I guess, man, it looks like, oh, you got trapped, Pennington. That really sucks, brother. I'm sorry. So it looks like some of the ARCa Bulls members got trapped in this as well. And I personally didn't have any risk on Tesla whatsoever. And I do know a couple personal friends who did have Tesla risk on, and actually with a downside bias. And whatever happened. But let's observe what it can do, okay? But because I mean, guys, look at this. We still have to look at the very obvious things, okay? We still have maybe a 12-hour daily time frame, head and shoulders presently printing, right? So there is still that for us to observe. Let's, I guess we can gain here the measured moves, but there also could be a potential bear trap in this, okay? So let's just say that price action did continue to the downside. Well, if it did continue to the downside, your first target wouldn't even be met here. It would be down. I mean, let's just say that, let's just say on Thursday, this week coming up, your low of 152.24. I don't think that's going to ever be reached. I don't think that 160, I guess maybe 160 could be reached, but guys, Tesla is showing a powerful upside signal here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the 4-hour time frame. The 1 hour time frame, and observe here the push. Remember, I've explained this before. I've explained to you guys what that initial thrust in physics could be in a body of water, right? So if you have your initial thrust, you slam on the body of water as hard as you can. How hard is that going to affect the ripples in time, right? So the ripples of the water, how far can it go? In this case, you can see here that the hourly time frame thrust was massive. It already went into the overbought percentile, which means that it's going to cascade into the buy hourly. Here's your buy hourly upside. You see how it's starting to get it? It's entering the bullish control zone. We're expanding to, right? Let's go to the 3 hour. Your 3 hour getting that upside bias, and we're starting to flatten out here, potentially correction to the upside on expansion. Guys, that move was super strong, and we didn't even have that much time for the waves to cascade. They're still pending. It's at a pause because of the closure. So this is likely to continue into the coming week. That doesn't mean that we're not going to face any downside. It just means that this is likely to continue. So whoever put that huge initial thrust really meant it. And I spoke to CoinFox. He said that was one of the last piggies sitting at the very bottom side of the price action at 160. He got filled for a massive long order. And that guy has been there for quite a while. And he just got filled on that Friday dump. Man, Guys, we're talking about a huge upside price. Options, yeah, sometimes you just got to say F it, right? And then go to MicroStrat for release, for relief. You know what, brother? After Meta, remind me. We'll go ahead and take a look at MSTR, as I do believe it's relevant. But I will also say that. Oh, look at that! MSTR reached my target. Hell yeah! No, what I was going to tell you is that very likely we're going to start a consolidation range, right? The range may be big. It may be like, for example, MicroStrat may experience a range of about I don't know, anywhere between $700 to about $1,000 in its range, meaning weekly range. But we have to start getting ready for the move to come, and we're talking about the Bitcoin halving. Okay, team. So this is single-handedly the biggest event that Bitcoin will ever face. Okay, so if you're not paying attention to Bitcoin, if you're not paying attention to the cryptocurrency world, I urge you to do it, and not as financial advice, just to be curious, because and you know, there is something new here. The new iteration of Bitcoin succeeding its newest all-time high before a Bitcoin halving is a new thing. It's never done that before. So whatever is happening now within Bitcoin, and it about to experience this huge event, that means, guys, that there could be a serious amount of pressure towards an upside. Okay, because at that moment, I know that as soon as this thing starts climbing to the upside, MSTR included, and Bitcoin, there's not going to be any stopping it. Okay, a natural pullbacks here and there, but there will be a massive continuation to the upside. Okay, so heads up on MSTR and heads up on BTC. Let's go ahead and continue here with ticker symbol TSLA. Okay, so now let's go ahead and pull up the stats here for ticker symbol Tesla and see how far this thing can go. All right, so we have here a top side of about 177 on a daily average true range. We're talking about a huge ATR now on Tesla. It expanded pretty nicely. We have about close to $8 average true range. You're looking at $7.95 here on a daily. I have a feeling that that's going to expand into the closer to the $8.50 to $9 target based on what happened post hours on Friday. Okay, so Tesla may expand itself, meaning that it may have a lower low and also a higher high on the daily ATR. Okay, so we could experience here a 159 ATR instead of the, see how we have 161 as the daily ATR low? We may be experiencing a 159 or a 158. But then in return, this top side, we may be able to see beyond the 177 too. We may be able to see inside of the 180 at the upper bound of the 2 standard deviation of a 3-hour time frame. Let's go to the 24-hour chart and see if we can get it now. I'm not sure that we could, but we'll try. There you go. Here's your 24-hour chart telling this is representing the price action after hours. And yeah, I'm right. 180.85, the upper bound of your second standard deviation multiplier in a 3-hour time frame, is definitely a multiple of 24 here, and we're getting this top side, guys. Come on. This is awesome. I may be wrong on the multiple. Sorry about that, but yeah. So anyway, we're reaching our discretion is my point. Our discretion is looking good. So if price action continues tomorrow, team, we may expand beyond the 177 target. We may actually see a top side of about 180. And I will say that the immediate short-term time frame, we may see a pullback. So let's go ahead and observe that. Hourly time frame on still a huge upside on that. 15 minutes still showing the correction. My goodness. Okay, so the 5-minute time frame may show us a little bit of a pullback here, and I would say that pulls back to around 170.28 being the inflection zone of the 5-minute time frame, and your current ATR low is 170.80. So confluence here with discretion and the raw price action inflection zone paired with statistics. Okay, so heads up on that 170 bottom. We may be able to get a continuation to the upside beyond that. If there is a continuation to the downside from this 170.29, yeah, we may be able to get a wick down here at a 169.49, maybe a 169, but I really do think this is just going to find a new little higher low and then continue on to the upside. Please be careful with your risk on this, and we'll see how we can move forward, okay? So that is it for ticker symbol TSLA. Let's go ahead and observe ticker symbol META, META. What does it have in line for us, and what is it going to do, and why? Well, I don't know, but let's pull it up. Here is AMD. We can do META here. All right. So as you can see here, team, our eyes were set to a target of 530.23 from back here around earlier part of last week. We were sitting at around 487. The measured moves here based on this pennant breakout came out to be around $530, and we were noticing a very confluent touch of that bottom side of the regression. That's what I was telling the team. I'm like, team, I'm noticing here a very confluent touch to that bottom side. We could find the bottom here. There could be an upside on this, right? So price action did resemble that. The price action did reflect a continuation to the upside. We absolutely nailed it, right? This was our take profit target. In fact, I told the team to scooch on out at 529, right? If it does have room to 530, well, if it doesn't, who cares? But the 529 to 530 was the exit here. So very nice upside target, and very nice play for the ARCa Bulls team, which was part of the gains last week, and part of the reason why I'm explaining to YouTube here to consider joining the ARCa Bulls trading team, so that you can be aware of these huge moves way before they happen, right? We're talking about entry at around 486 to 480, and this thing ripped all the way to 530. It did take some time. This was not one solid swing play. Actually, I do think a few of us did hold all the way, but it is just generally to know the overall direction and play the ebb and flow within that period. And options is saying, and tell the market to buy a damn oxygen concentrator while you trade. CoinFox is saying that 12-hour meta is a little weak. Might get a 505 dip on the market weakness. I completely agree. That is, this was very slow. Although the candle didn't return anything of which it gained, right? It's still, we could still experience a downside here, right? I can already see the touch of 523.57, validation of the 527.95, and then continue on to the downside here. Little 519 touch, validation of resistance 524, and then come down to the 515 to about the 510 area. Right, so Coin is observing his 505 target. I do think that the 505 could. Let me see where the 505 is. Right, you're looking at this major pivot point here. I don't doubt it whatsoever, and it could also be. Wait, is this the weekly? The weekly low? That's around 480 something. Prior week's high is around the 510. That's my bet here. But if we did experience it, that would be the prior week's open, right? If the prior week's open is around that 505.89, we could very well get down into that level. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and jot it down here as a range. Okay, so just about that 505.89. So I'd say the prior weekly bar's high at 509.99. So I do think that this could be the realm or the area for us to observe. And let me see this on a daily. And why would that be the case? Well, usually when you get price action to break out of pennants like this, then your retracement to validate support within that pennant would be next, and it is confluent with the regression too. So that could show us that. Are we going to experience this in the immediate short term? Or are we going to experience this within the week? Well, what is it? Let's take a look at the stats window. Okay, so right off the bat, this is telling us that we could observe it within a day's session, right? We have 502.92 as your daily ATR low, as this thing has expanded to close to $14 in average true range. That is absolutely powerful, 100% powerful. Huge price action on this damn thing, right? So 12-hour time frame low. That could be your 518. That's where I was saying that we would pull back to the 521, 523, well, the 519.75 to 523 range, right? So that would be your 12-hour low. And that would be the bounce to validate I guess, yeah, we could validate maybe here the 527 before a continuation to the downside. 515 leads to 519. 519 leads to 509 to 505. That may be a complete move. Come tomorrow. Damn. Okay, so let's look at momentum here. Let's see what the behavior is leading into the shorter, more immediate, short-term time frames. And also, let me just make sure that I have here some moving averages. All right. Okay. So 527, 526, that's all relevant. And here, 521, that's going to be your EMA 200, very likely about, 521, the SMA 200. Yeah, guys, the way that I explained it to you, that it's probably going to happen like that. But let me take a look at volatility versus momentum on the 4-hour. Okay, 4-hour time frame looks to be very powerful. It's showing a continuation to the upside. Let me see the hourly, though. And it's actually, let me just look all the way back. This is still looking... Guys, there may not be a downside on this too much. Pullback against, okay. there could be a pullback as soon as we reach the 530.70 again, right? So if we get an immediate short-term time frame, sure, I get it. That's fine. But I will say that we may get an 8-hour retrace here, but that's going to be your resistance. I think that's going to be anywhere between 528 and 530. And if that's the case, that means that our upside is likely to continue into the week. Oh, man. What the hell is this thing doing? All right, so let me take the pennant range on a fib. Okay, so the pennant range is going to be from this top side. Actually, no. Let me take the top of we're going to take the all-time high to the swing bottom. Right about there. Okay, so what we're observing here is we want to see where we can fit within the 272 and the 618 targets, like always. Okay, and well, naturally we can see already a range between the 546.31 and 566.78. That could be inbound. Okay, now what if we want to get a closer proximity? So why don't we do this? Let's take the let me get rid of this thing. 530.70. Let's take the daily candle into consideration as a range, right? So 530.70-ish down to the daily low, and then we could get a little closer within our targets of the broader fib. Okay, so let's concentrate right within the 50% zone, which is going to be 557.95 to about 552.50. Okay, so that's kind of where we can go, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and just leave that highlighted there because we could be observing that as a higher probability target leading into the week here. Okay, so let's just be patient with the price action here. But Meta, it feels really bullish, man, and I do think that we have a good shot of reaching these targets here. Maybe starting at the close of let's say it's going to be either power hour tomorrow, or it's going to be at the right where the algos switch, right around Euro close into the end of NYSE lunch, right around there. I'm thinking that we could get a continuation to the upside. So if we are to face bearish price action here, I do think that that's going to be in response to the weekly close of the SPY, right? And that's because we got that weekly close, that usually shows a little bit of downside here. So Meta may react to that downside too, and Meta may be pushing all the chips down with it. And then we'll be able to catch the reaccumulation event into the resistance of the current high of 530.70 to eventually lead to the top side of the price action here, what we're observing. Let's pull the stats up. Okay, yeah, so we do have the resistance tomorrow at 530.70. Let me show you. I was saying that as soon as we get this downside here, we could bounce up here to get the 530.70, right? Here's your daily ATR top, 530.78. So that's how it goes, team. Data speaks it. Data says that we may be able to continue on to that. And please observe here, the daily time frame is telling you that your upper bound of the second standard deviation is 540.52. Now, what the hell is 540 though? Well, let's take a look at right here. The one spot 618 at 540.97. Geometrics are leading too. All right, so I like it. I like everything that we're doing here. I definitely see a continuation to the upside. Please be careful when trading this. Coin is saying Meta is definitely in play tomorrow. Both sides, nice ass range, huge range. Guys, we'll be able to counter trend the crap out of this. Okay, so if you have systems like Sterling or DAS Trader, man, that's gonna be your go ahead in a huge range here, right? So big money to be made on Meta tomorrow. All right. Oh man, 540 Meta would be nuts. That's your local target, buddy. I do think that dude, these are just the stats telling you 530.78. This thing could very well wick on one side on one day. It could very well wick onto that 540 even tomorrow, maybe even post hours. Who knows, man? But yeah, Meta is absolutely in play and showing one massive continuation to the upside. If there is a back test to take in mind here, it would be this right here. We're getting the break of volatility with an upside pivot and the moving average. This happened on Friday with an upside pivot in the bullish control zone of stochastic momentum. This is one entire setup. Guys, the upside here may be massive. And I do think that the rise from 530 to, I'm talking about 540 or even 550, that may be the short end of the stick here. Because when we're talking about a daily back test of historical volatility versus stochastic momentum, that's not my target. In fact, I can potentially see this thing reaching $600 into the coming days, depending on data, depending on CPI, depending on the Fed. But if everything supports it, this is not done. Meta may reach its $600 target, and you're hearing it from me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and run a back test here, master students. If you want to go ahead and join me on Meta's daily time frame, critical contraction break into critical into expansion with an upside on stochastic momentum. Let's run this back test. Let's compare data and see what we can get for a continuation to the upside here, because this is very likely going to give us a massive run leading into this week. So, guys, just remember that. So, master students, if you're in here and you're going to run this back test, we'll compare data and we'll see what the targets are looking like. You don't have to calculate the standard deviations, including the first, second, and third. Leave that up to me if you don't want to do it, right? But if you don't want to, I got you, okay? But if you do, we'll go ahead and compare data anyway. But you go ahead and set up the way that you want to backtest this, right? So you can either do it to the entry of critical contraction or the exit of it. My personal take is going to be, and I can even make this more accurate too. And what I mean by that is that I can take a backtest of the break of volatility versus momentum from, the break of the 15th percentile with only stochastic momentum above the 50%. So I can add that condition here and I can diminish the iterations to potentially get a tighter read. So what I'm saying here is that I'm not going to take any consideration unless momentum is within the bullish control zone, period. So meaning that I don't care that it's down here with an upside pivot and expanding. I'm only going to take into consideration the back test while stochastic momentum is above the 50. Leave that one up to me. I'll go ahead and take it. I'll go ahead and take that back test in line. If you guys want to take another one, you guys express that the way you want to. But I think that I'll be able to get a cool read here and see if we can get some tighter targets that way. All right, guys. So yeah, expect here a massive back test on Meta's daily, but there could be a massive run for us, team, and this could be an opportunity here for us to observe similar runs like we've faced on Tesla's downside and Nvidia's upside and that whole thing. All right, you guys. So that's going to be it for ticker symbol Meta. Let's kind of shift the attention here to ticker symbol MSTR. Guys, I gave you DJT. Good deal. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at MSTR and see how that's behaving here, right? Okay. All right, so guys, know that the data that I'm talking about here it's likely going to be fed to the ARCa Bulls trading team first, and then it's going to be fed into YouTube. Okay, so hit that link that I just put into the YouTube, right? Hit that link, join, subscribe to the ARCa Bulls trading team, and you'll have early access to all of these back tests and plays. We're going to be able to know the upper bound targets before they happen using a historical volatility versus stochastic momentum backtest. All right, team? So let's go ahead and now concentrate on MSTR. We observed here the potentials of facing this downside target of 1432 based on a psychological formation, right? So this formation here gave us these bottom bounds, and we were able to meet it on Friday. Okay, so what that means here is that the move to the downside is done, okay? Now, if we observe here in raw price action, put this thing up to a daily time frame and kind of observe what the macro perspective is doing here, then I'm going to say that there may still be continued pressure, okay, to the downside. Now, if that pressure really is in line, then we could be presented here with a very, very, very nice opportunity to get long MSTR. Okay, so that's it's not the end of the world. In fact, you know, BTC has been shown. This is dominance here. Let me see. Let me put this back here. Put it on the daily, and we can see that BTC has been making a series of lower highs, right? So it's in this cycle. So I see that Bitcoin is pushing upwards of 70,935. I expressed to one of the analysts that I can see Bitcoin going up all the way to 71,008 before coming back down to the areas of about 66,000. Now, this 66,000 target is kind of a chop box that we're observing here. So if this has an immediate short-term upside here, outside of the hours that MSTR can see it, then that means that we may be able to get the push here in the after hours and then the rejection. So if we start rejecting into market open tomorrow, U.S. equities, that means that MSTR can face a continuation to the downside too. And here's one thing to observe. We're breaking the market structure. This is your dead cat, right? This is your bounce here, right? This is your rejection and the continuation. So let's measure that first. Let's get our measured targets. I know that I'm going to have a bunch of drawings here as soon as I do this, damn it. All right, so let me get rid of, obviously we already got that play. We already got this play too. We already noticed a whole bunch of other things that realized per our expectations, all good. Okay, so let's get rid of those for now. And, okay. So here we go. Let's see what we can do about that dead cat. I know I just got it. This is the bottom side of the dead cat right here, right? So let's get that trend line. Measure the top side. Bring the trend line to that bottom side of the dead cat, right? Apply it right under the price action. And this is telling you that we could be experiencing a bottom side of around 1228 or 1234.33, right? So that would be confluent to this candle here. Now, if we observe that candle alone, what is that? That candle represents inflection. That's going to be a critical area. Okay, if we start closing beneath 1231.17, there could be a continuation to the downside. First stop. I mean, luckily for you, we can get to the bottom side of this gap here, right? That's going to be the top side of around 1189. 1189 to about 1136. We get that touch. We validate the wick low as resistance. Then we continue to likely fill that gap at 1079 right here. As soon as we get that 1079, we bounce to validate not only the gap top right here, but also the bottom of the regression, the bottom of the inflection, right? As soon as we validate that, then your bottom bound targets are going to be really in line. Anywhere between 990 to about 813 MSTR could be in line if we break below this area here. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's gonna be your line in the sand. Break that 1230 and then see what happens. Okay, so there is also a head and shoulders formation here. Nice regression towards the downside. That target is already leading you to the bottom side of this gap. I'm sorry, we're going to go ahead and conserve some time, so I'm not going to draw the lines for you, right? You've seen me draw it a million times. All right, so that's that bottom side of the gap does have a range. 1082 to the bottom side of around 1037. Let's pull up stats. Okay. 1394 is the present low. And 1394 on the daily time frame, that is, right? So that's going to lead you to about right here. So 1394, that tells you that the bottom side targets here leading into tomorrow could be 1364 to 1394. Okay? That's going to be your bottom bound in the immediate short-term time frame. And let's see the 12-hour and the 24-hour. Hold on. Okay. 1418. Yeah, it's still similar. Okay. Good deal. No problem. And now your inflection point, that's around the 1220. So that's something that we're going to have to observe here. Let me pull back to the 12-hour time frame. I'm still thinking. 1220, and then the bottom inflection will be 1033. Okay. Yeah, so the condition would be that, team. If we break that 1230, very likely we can honestly extend to the 12-hour lower bound of the 2 standard deviation multiplier at 1067, confluent to the 1033. Okay, so just in case, that's what it is. But now let's observe volatility versus momentum on a 4-hour. Okay, still some downside pressure on the 4-hour time frame with expansion starting. We're actually getting the shift on the colors too. Please notice that we're starting the bar up here from green into that yellow of the spectrum, right? So this is the way the colors start to shift right here on the heat map. Okay, so we're already starting to intensify. That means that we're starting an expansion phase, and the expansion phase just so happens to have a downside pivot, not a capitulation pivot. It's just a natural ebb and flow pivot. Okay, let's go to the hourly. Hourly time frame appears to be corrective here. See the 30, and it's corrective too. So with this type of pivot here for an upside, that just means that MSTR is likely to find consolidation, just like I was talking about with BTC. Okay, so MSTR, I think that it's going to be range bound into tomorrow, and that range could lead you anywhere between let's pull up the 12-hour one more time, and let's see here. Yep. I think that you could reach. I don't think that we'll reach the full ATR. I'm sorry. I think that we will reach the full ATR low of around $13.94 to $1,400. If we pair that with actual price action, then that would be your $13.93. Let me get the drawings up. Yeah, $13.93 low. Right here. And your 1745 could actually be 1745. Let me see. Can it be stopped? Is there a reason that we won't reach 17? Okay. Yeah. We may be stuck actually between 1534 and 1393 into tomorrow. Okay. So don't mark my words here. Don't mark them. Right. So I'm just saying that this appears to be the consolidation range that we could be stuck on until the 16th or the 19th of the Bitcoin halving. So there's some things to think about here. Unless they release some massive catalyst to rip this thing to the upside, then we're cooling. Chad, yeah, man, the heat map volatility, I'm almost done with it. I'm just having trouble with my alerts. I'm having trouble with the alerts based on the critical zones, right? So I needed to show me how long we've been above the 98% by closing periods. So and it's I can't get it to give it to me just yet, but I will have it. But this is the new volatility heat map that I've been working on. Looking very good, and I do think it's gonna give us an edge to for back testing and options. You're very welcome, my brother. And don't hold me to these targets here, because we know that MSTR is very powerful. In fact, I'm gonna just say that they're if we're gonna observe a higher end chop box, then I'm gonna pair this with the top of the price action right here at about 1741.63. And there is also the potential of chopping around this area as well, right? So let's just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm not saying that that is an impossibility. I'm just saying that this thing is powerful. So if Bitcoin has some weird, immediate, freaking crazy price action, then yeah, we may be able to expand the range between 1393 to 1741. And it's healthy, right? I mean, it's not what your options, it's not what you're used to here, bouncing from 600 to freaking 2000, right? But it's definitely a respectable range. And I love it. I love it. So CoinFox is saying, oh, we're marking those words, ARCa. You better be right, damn it. Yeah, you know, it's just only for now, brother. I know that it's not as fun right now, but I think it's just for the moment, right, until we get that halving, and then we'll get the stragglers, right? The stragglers that probably want to get long Bitcoin. They're probably going to start experiencing. They're probably going to start bringing in that FOMO and the MOMO, right, into the price action. And CoinFox, you're saying Wiggle Wiggle saw this? I'm sorry, are you talking to Wiggle Wiggle? So heads up for now, man. Heads up for now. I gotcha. Nice, man. Okay, you guys, so that is it for our broader market outlook. And hey, John, how are you, buddy? He is asking me to see if I have any thoughts on FNGR. You know what, man? I love you so damn much, John, that I'll do that for you, buddy. Let's go ahead and take a look at, sure. Yeah, let's look at ticker symbol FNGR here, right, for old time's sake, and see what we have in line, right? So I know that I was putting down some targets before, but I'm not going to use any of that stuff from the prior price action. I do not need it, right? But yeah, let's observe here what FNGR is capable of. All right, team. Team, please remember, I keep on forgetting to say this out loud a lot, right? But I just introduced to the track for students, finally, the strategies mentorship program for stock trading, right? So, and this is actually for both stock and cryptocurrency trades. And so please get in touch with me at ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com to get yourself a seat. Okay, so this is going to be an 8 to 12 week mentorship program on strategies for swing and short-term trading. So for both day and swing on both equities, your traditional risk on assets, and also cryptocurrency assets or crypto assets. Okay, team, so ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com. So let's go ahead and now take a look at FNGR on the daily time frame first, because we can see that FNGR has been making some quick little ticks to the upside, and I wonder why the hell that's doing that, right? Not sure. Oh, right. It was because of the legalities, right? We're observing, who was it again? What's his name again? Not legal advice. I believe he is. He's the one leading that. I'm not sure if it's a suit. I'm not sure if it's a litigation or whatever. But yeah, he's leading it with GTII. I think he fixed that, right? Triple X, double X. My brother, you know the details within that. Do you have something to say about that? Right? I think you're the one that really has those details in line. Are you here with me, Double X, my brother? Let's see. Chat saying you won't be disappointed. Everything ARCa says is fire. Oh, dude. I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for sharing that. Go ahead, my brother. You are online. People can hear you.
Yeah, the finger, I don't think it's not the not legal guy. I think he's the GTII guy.
Gotcha.
But
Mark Basil, maybe?
No, Mark Basil. Mark Basil just disassociated himself with MMTLP
Oh,
because of all the headaches over there. But I won't go there. But Finger is ham with that Secret Service bullshit. I don't
oh,
mean to say that. I don't mean to say that, man.
it's
But
okay.
but not legal advice is. I think he's with the G with his lawsuit is GTII.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, and you know what? I'm still trying to find out why FNGR is getting this kind of a ripper to the upside. So it says here, litigation update: Finger Motion announces settlement agreement with Benzinga in action against
Okay.
short selling.
Yeah, you want me to interrupt you?
Go ahead,
That
brother.
was the thing that you were the star of the show of, that
Oh, capybara.
capybara.
That
The
I was the star of the
capybara.
show.
Yeah, you were. You were the man. You were number one.
I was
Public
the number
enemy
one
number
pumper.
one. Public enemy number one, man. They had you in the. I saw you in the post office.
Oh man, you know it's bad when I'm on the post office. Jeez.
Right. Wanted. Most wanted man in the United States.
Yeah, you hear
Hey,
it, team.
but what happened was whoever sued them, I think it was Mark Basile, okay? I'm not sure.
Mhm.
In behalf of Finger Motion, sued the capybara guy, some guy overseas, but sued Benzinga for allowing him to put his hit piece through them. And they settled right away and said, okay, we're sorry. And they settled, and supposedly they retracted it and all that jazz. So that's what happened with that.
Wow.
They,
Okay.
they admitted that they allowed somebody to put out a bullshit story, so to speak, or a hit piece.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? That reminds me now of what we were saying on the trading floor on Friday. That somebody said, "Well, no, I think it was you, right? You said that no, it was already been figured out or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, good." So you said you're out of the woods, but I'm like, "No, I'm not actually out of the woods because there's still GTII because I've been
No, you're not. You're always going to be public enemy number one, bro.
right, right."
You got to just carry that. You got to carry that. What do they call? Carry that cross, okay?
It's
That's
all good.
you.
You know what? I think
Yeah.
bad press is good press, right? So
Yeah. El Tigre. You got to change your name to El Tigre.
El
from
Tigre.
ARCa.
My brother, I love it, man. Thank you so much for coming
All
on
right.
and sharing
Okay,
your knowledge
brother.
here with the team, my bro. Really love you, man. And
Okay. I don't know if it's knowledge. I don't know what kind of knowledge it is, but okay. All right.
you know
All
what?
right.
I can tell you that I received it. You know what? I received your message this morning, early this morning. It did
Oh,
give
you
me
did.
that gave me a good laugh.
The eclipse.
The eclipse
In
was
Spanish.
terrible, man. It was a big orange eclipse.
In Spanish. Who was that second eclipse? Who was the eclipser? Did you
Oh.
know her?
No, I don't know who that is. You know, I didn't even want to know who that was.
Killing me, bro. You're killing me.
I just wanted to
Okay.
share with you that I got a good laugh out of it, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on by
All right,
and
you
sharing
be-
your stuff
you
with me,
be-
man.
You be cool, brother. Stay out of trouble, okay? I'll talk.
We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Bye.
So there you have it, guys. So that was the litigation update. I have a feeling here that's probably why FNGR is showing some short-term strength, right? I don't particularly like that daily close, but the 12-hour time frame definitely came back here with retribution, right? So your daily close on FNGR is 264. 12-hour post-market closes to 277. So it marked off a pretty nice little upside even in the post hours, right? So if we were able to pump to the upside like that, that puts me into deep curious. It puts me into curious mode here, right? So I want to know what volatility is looking like from the immediate short-term time frame. Okay, so let's pair this with stochastic momentum. So this is going to be your stochastic momentum indicator here, right? So let's see. Very impressive upside initial thrust, right? We got critical expansion here, right? Let's see the bi-hourly time frame. Bi-hourly time frame reading that upside as well. Critical expansion on deck. 3-hour time frame here. Nice upside pivot. That means that your initial thrust from the hourly is absolutely pushing onto that 3-hour, bi-hourly and the 3-hour. Okay, and now we're still expanding. Now let's go ahead and push on further. What's the 4-hour time frame saying? Okay, Look at this. Huge expansion happening on the 4-hour time frame. This expansion phase is telling you that we're quite literally throttling towards that direction bias, which is upside, okay? Thumbs up on this. The 4-hour time frame stochastic momentum is not quite getting that upside pivot just yet, but something tells me that tomorrow that can be a higher likelihood, okay? So now the RSI on the 4-hour time frame is inside of the gravitational zone here. This is likely to get pushed and pulled into that upside. Okay, so be very mindful here. I understand that I'm telling you that there is a continuation to the upside on FNGR, but I got to tell you that I'm not the biggest fan of the asset whatsoever. Okay, I don't have any risk open on either GTII or FNGR, and I likely will not. Okay, if it does, you know, I have said that I'm going to long the crap out of GTII at 10 cents, so maybe then. Okay, so, but for now, I don't have any risk open on any of those tickers, okay? So let's see, 4-hour time frame here. Yeah, we're barely getting that upside read here. Guys, this is a very nice incline. I was observing this price action upside from the 5-minute time frame in comparison with moving averages, and it's showing relevant strength. You know, it is, I'm not going to negate that, right? We are definitely showing relevant strength, meaning that we're definitely getting up higher highs and higher lows. I guess if we were to observe this on a shorter time frame, then we could be seeing a little bit of a bearish formation set up here, but it could be in the process of getting invalidated as well. Okay, so let's point that out. Let's see what that bearish formation even looks like in the first place, right? So this is what I am speaking of, right? We have here a broadening ascending wedge in the shorter time frame, right? So this is your rising wedge here. We have test number, let's see, 1, 2. We have test number 3, and it looks like we even reached up to test number 4. If price action continues, and it gives you a test right up here at 303. That's I'm talking about, it has to touch the regression. So let's see. I'm gonna just make sure to give you the range, right? Because it could happen literally at any moment of the day. 302. Let's see. Monday, that's going to be, I guess, yeah, it could still continue expanding like this, team. There for now, I'm just going to give you a range of about 302 to 314. This could all be invalidation here. Okay, so, and it could continue higher. Okay, so I just stopped at a discretionary point. But we can validate this also with a fib, short-term fib. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, damn. your two spot 272 leading at 313. I'm speaking of a 314, right? So I don't think that this is going to be relevant for, I would say for a touch of the regression here. That's going to be relevant to the top side as a resistance. So the price action range here at about 294, the highs that we experienced on Friday. Okay, so that's going to be a natural area of resistance. Okay, we'll just jot it down like this and then see what's up. But look at this, 15-minute time frame, powerful upside, huge continuation on expansion here, leading into the 30-minute time frame with that same powerful thrust and a huge upside on expansion. Guys, yeah, there is a shot at this. There is a shot. I'm not going to say that it's going to be the one. It's not going to be the last. Guys, I'm just not going to say that this is going to be the ticker to end your jobs here, right? And then go into retirement. But I am gonna say that this does have some pressure to the upside, and I would actually size down on this play because at any moment this thing could be rug pulled. Okay, so please be very, very careful when observing this. Okay. But thank you so much. Thank you so much here. Okay. Just, okay. Here's one thing I didn't tell you. If we are going to get a drawdown, it's saying here that your daily time frame can reach all the way to 227 on your daily ATR. So let me see. I'm gonna doubt that. And use the 24-hour time frame. There we go. That's more like it. 222, lower than 227. I'm just kidding, you guys. No. I don't think that it can go down that low. In fact, I would observe here the prior week. Let me see the weekly close. Geez, I guess it could. Okay, yeah, heads up on this range. If there is a pullback on this, this is your range for the downside. Potential 225 to 231, but know also that I am seeing a continuation to the upside in the immediate short term. 4-hour time frame bullish engulfing green outside bar. This is great. You know, this is likely to lead on to a continuation. It doesn't. I mean, that's a very good 6-hour close as well. 8-hour time frame still bullish. 12-hour time frame certainly still bullish, and your weekly candle. Let's see that. A little bit of weakness coming in, but it's still above the range, right? It still shows that you still have critical supports in the underside right here, right? So, if you were gonna stop from reaching 227, this is gonna be. This is gonna be. Hey, cabrón. This is gonna be your.
Finger.
This is my last request, buddy. So this is gonna be your last line in the sand right here, okay, buddy? And that's gonna stop it right there, 240 to 243. But guys, that was it. We took a look at the SPY. We took a look at Tesla, Meta. We took a look at CGC. We also took a look at DJT, right? But I think that the play is Meta. I think that that's where we should concentrate our attention, and I think that that's where we're really gonna get some upside. My brother, Cryptic, are you observing Meta just yet, my bro? Because there is a huge play to come up on that one, man.
Let's see.
Big time plays on Meta. Let me pull it here. All right, so check this out from my end. Just giving you this information real quick. So look at this, dude. Huge upside stochastic momentum on the daily time frame. We just broke that silence on the 15% of volatility. This just fired off a signal for a huge upside. I'm thinking local targets first. I mean, downside first, right? I'm observing a potential downside to anywhere between 509 to maybe 505 tomorrow. But the accumulation here, we're going to resist again at 530.70 into Tuesday and Wednesday. We could be observing a 546 to 566. And then if we do have catalysts from the macroeconomic like CPI and PPI and all that stuff, if it comes in good, I think Meta can reach 600 by maybe next week, end of next week. Something is up with it, man. Huge explosive moves are potentially going to happen. But if you're game, let's kind of pair some charts and pair some analysis here, but because I think we're in play, man. And I know that you're a specialist in Meta. you got quite the good hit rate on this. But how you feeling, man? What are you thinking?
Honestly, I haven't looked at anything.
Nothing just yet.
Not yet.
Chilling, buddy. But dude, I promise you this, man. I think we got this in play here, and it's taking up my attention. Other than the cannabis stocks starting to rally up like they did in 2018 and 2019. Other than that,
look at the sun tomorrow.
Other than those, I think this is probably it, man. What the heck is that sun? Damn, that doesn't look scary at all.
Quick look,
bro. Who took the picture of that? That is ominous as all hell. So, guys, this is the S&P 500 looking down on you. Damn, that is crazy.
Yeah, I'm showing a lot of activity at 540.
Right, bro? Oh, man. Something is up. And that 540.97 is your one spot 618, bro. You have clear eyes on that. I already see that you're seeing the same thing too, man. This is going to be exciting.
I'll chart it out and I'll see.
Hell yeah, buddy. So I'm also going to run a back test on this, and I'll share it with the team because this just fired off a signal on Friday, and we'll be able to see how freaking.
But what did you say your retracement was going to be?
Maybe 505.89 to 509.99 at the lowest point, and your ATR kind of supports that. You're talking about a 502.92, but I think that I can bet that we don't reach all the way. There are
have,
critical supports below us too. 523,
yeah, you have that
521,
pivot.
515. Fuck, there's a whole bunch.
You have that 50. What the hell is it?
And
507 pivot.
let me see. Let me see.
No, you have that 510 pivot.
The 510. Yeah, exactly. So that's right at where I was thinking, right? Because of the not 618 at 509.62 and the gap. So,
And then you have your 5 and your 10 at 502, 506, 502.
dude, exactly.
But
That you're looking at it just like
that
Coin is
pivot
looking
looks
at it
pretty
too.
strong.
Oh,
The pivot
bro.
looks pretty strong at 510 though.
Yeah, that 510 could very well just take on all the attention. CoinFox, see you later, buddy. Take care, man.
Here, brothers.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, brother. So I think we could get that retracement potential. I don't know if I was even debating on maybe opening up some bi-weekly calls on this at around those targets with validation, of course, with closures, and then just letting them ride. Just letting them sit there, because I do think we'll see a wall-to-wall move tomorrow, all the way down the ATR, all the way up the ATR.
You could. It looks good for a breakdown.
Right.
Below at 26.
And we also got the weekly close. So that's your
14.
dude, that's a huge ass candle on the weekly on Meta, bro. Big time. But it looks overbought. I bet anything is the end of the world today, Joe. I bet anything we just pull back into relevant targets.
That tomorrow?
Huh?
That stupid eclipse tomorrow?
Is that? Oh, that's why people were saying that we could see some immediate downside into Monday because of the freaking lunar whatever. That's right. Oh man, I forgot about that.
Meta.
So we're gonna have everybody howling at the moon tomorrow, and that's why we're gonna see some downside on Meta.
So also Meta looks like it broke out
from its all-time high. Fuck yeah, it did.
from its 52-week, and when you get a breakout, you're always gonna get a retrace.
Absolutely, especially
time.
at the weekend. We're gonna get that pullback for sure, and then rippy.
And it just hit my it did hit my scanner, Meta.
Nice. Oh, bro,
So-
let's go. So
my scanner usually says breakout, then break out quickly, then back down.
Let's go, man. This is exciting stuff, dude. Let's trade it. Let's
Hey, look, that's ARCa.
look at that's me. Fool, that really is one of the reasons I actually, bro, dead honest. That really is one of the reasons I chose to, not a lot of people know how I look, right? But that's one of the reasons I chose to widen. I have holes in my ears, right? So that's because of Aztecs and stuff. So that I ended up doing it because of cultural reasons. I had wood, and I just never let it go. But dude, that's insane, man. That fool has huge plugs. But bro, I actually was just in the process of shutting down here, man. I've been streaming since around 7, I think, dude. I'm a little tired. And let's get some rest. I'm gonna try to do this back test. I'm gonna try to provide some targets,
I'm just
dude.
starting.
And you just started right now, right? Shit. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just like that, bro. That's gross. That is disgusting. You'd never take your earplugs off, bro. Don't. That's gross. Oh my goodness, man. But yeah, so my bro, I'm gonna try to run that. Dude. That's funny because those are literally I wear Cortez all the time. I wear those black and white. I wear those black and white Cortez, bro. Keep it OG. I got the blues and whites right on that thread. Man, I keep it too OG. Fern 5, what's up? Looking into the sun will give you superpowers. Not financial advice. You do too. I still keep it hood, man. I still keep it hood. Option saying, yes, look at it for 5 minutes minimum. Financial advice. Guys, and there it goes, man. That's the guy. That's the guy right there with the Cortez. That's the guy with the Cortez. Wait. I'm never gonna get rid of this team. This is for because of Cryptic. This is forever gonna be fucking me.
Danny, not me.
Danny was the one that shared it. I'm gonna go and hound his ass.
Yeah, I'm just.
My number one
just jumped on
student,
the
bro.
bandwagon.
Come on, man. My number one student, bro. Anyway, team, I appreciate y'all for coming out. Thank you so much for sharing your good times here with me. Please remember, hit that link in the YouTube stream, right, to join the ARCa Bulls trading. And yeah, we'll move forward from there. But until then, adios, right? It was a good time right at the end, man. I appreciate you. So let me sign out right here real quick. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I freaking never could do that, and you never will. All right? Please take whatever I do show forever as just entertainment. With that said, I wish you well and a good night, and I'll catch you at the Bell Mañana. Adios, team. Peace. Hell no.